Welcome to MeMe's Kitchen. Well, y'all, fall made it. At least, technically, it made it. But today it's almost 90 degrees, so I don't think it's too much like fall. So see what I did? I've got fall here and I've got summer here. So I've got both seasons covered. It was just too hot to wear long pants, so y'all just forgive me. Today, we are going to be making something that's very typical for this time of year. Oh my goodness, everybody's all caught up in football. So that's just the nature of it. We got high school football, college football, professional football. Everybody's a fan of somebody or somewhere, you know, so that's fine. So when we're thinking along the lines of football, we're thinking about things that we can eat, of course. And so that brings me to a recipe that's in my cookbook. Now this is called Sunday Lunch at MeMe's. And a lot of you have this. So if you'll turn to page 119, we are going to make a hamburger dip today. And y'all, this is about as simple as it comes. And it is not a secret recipe. I imagine probably a bunch of you out there go say, well, I already made that. Well, that's good, you know. But for those that don't, you're going to learn something today. And this is super simple, I guess is what you would say. The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So anyway, and it's Kayleen's recipe. Now, y'all, she videos me so much, but she's camera shy. So I couldn't talk her into doing this recipe herself. All right, the first thing it calls for is 1 pound of hamburger meat. Now, I bought the 90-10. So there's going to be very little fat content in this. So I am going to add just a tad of water. Okay, I just stepped away just a minute just to add some water. You know, I like to add water to my hamburger meat because it just helps to separate it really easy, and then it doesn't pop so bad. I am going to grate a little bit of onion in here just to add the flavor. And so what I do is so that we don't end up with big chunks of onion. You know how people are about onion. If you're allergic to it, it's one thing, but you can always tell your guests that it has onion in it. But we're going to grate this in here. So that was about a half of an onion. It'll just be enough to add flavor to that hamburger. Okay, all right, I want y'all to look at this. Now, I used the 90-10, which meant I had very little fat content. So see, I don't have anything in there that I need to drain. And I cooked it down and cooked that water off of it. Now, if you use a hamburger that has a higher fat content, you may want to drain that because you don't want all that fat in there. But if you can, just go ahead and buy just the ground beef. All right, y'all. Now, you know what it's like nowadays when you go to the grocery store. This is Rotel, and it's original. This one says no salt added. Well, that's all they had on the shelf. And so that's what I got. So there's three, I think KK said, flavors of this. There's the original, there's the mild, and there's the hot. Well, you can add your own hot sauce to the people that like it, but you sure can't take it out. So for us wimpy people that don't like the hot, we get just the original. And we're going to mix that in. Well, that looks good. Okay, the next thing we're going to add is Velveeta cheese. And this is a 1 pound box. Now, I turned my eye down just a little bit because when you start putting cheese in here, unless you really want, and y'all, I cut it in little cubes. That way it will melt faster. So we're going to just put this all around. And cheese, you know, will scorch really fast. So I turned my eye down some And we'll just watch it, and we'll keep stirring it. And let the cheese melt. Oh, this is about as simple as you can get, y'all. Okay, get that all covered. And so, I'll tell you, I will watch my timer here, and when we come back, I'll let you know about how long it took for this cheese to melt. So, you don't need to watch cheese melt. Okay, y'all, that was 4 minutes. That's how long it took for it to melt. Now, you do not have to let this continue to cook. I'm going to cut this eye off. It is ready to eat right now. Now, this can be made in a crock pot also. You just kind of stir it up. You just brown your meat and put your rotel in it, put it in your crock pot, put the cheese in it, top on it, let it all melt. But once the cheese melts, it's ready. And so that was 4 minutes it took, and I had my eye here on medium high. So what we're going to do, we are going to take this up, right? All right, let's see. Okay, you can use whatever you like as your dipping. We like scoops. And so they are just easy because, of course, they hold some nice little dip here. So this is all ready. It's a nice salty. And to get you game ready, we are also going to do a real quick kind of sweet little dip. So we'll be right back with that. Woo! I'm going to tell y'all, if you wimpy like me, go with the mild. This was the original, and it's hot. Okay, I wanted to tell y'all, we had such an exciting weekend. Y'all, this is the weekend that Graham got married, and that's KK's son. Not only her son, but her only child. And so we just had so much fun. It was a beautiful outdoor wedding, and the weather was absolutely perfect. And so we've had a busy weekend. So all of us were kind of worn weary yesterday, and but made it to church. And then guess what? We went out to eat. Now listen, that's a phenomenon. And people that see us in a restaurant, they can't imagine. Most of the time they think either I'm out of town or sick. And so, but I happened to be there. So anyway, we had a little bit of explaining to do. I also wanted to tell you about my acorn. Now you people from Mississippi, this comes from your state. In the late 1930s, my daddy was one of 10 children. And he had 3 brothers that had served in the armed forces. And at that time, they would not take all the boys out of a family, or even the majority of them, because, you know, with the war like it was, they just respected having not used all the boys out of one family. So Daddy joined what was called the CCCs, the Civilian Conservation Corps. And their duty was to go and to either build state parks or clean up state parks and do stuff like that. So outside of Meridian, Mississippi, there is a Clarko State Park. And my daddy helped to build that. So for you people in Mississippi that enjoy that park, thank you. And I know that my daddy was so proud of it. So one of the men that was in that unit with him actually lived in Mississippi. And so every year we would go back for reunions to Clarko State Park. And so one year he was a jeweler. Goodness, it wouldn't come to me. And he went and picked up acorns and dipped them in gold. And he gave them to all the wives that came that year to the reunion. Well, this belonged to my mother for years. And when she passed away, it became mine. I'm the oldest daughter. And so this became mine. So this is a real acorn, y'all. And it's from Mississippi. So thank you, Mississippi. And I hope you love it. Okay, now we're going to make a little sweet dip. And this is so simple. It's just about like the other one. So this is 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. So just your regular cream cheese. Now you can use a whipped cream cheese if you want to, but I like the flavor of the real one. All right, let's see here. All right, we're just gonna kind of get that mixed up. That was softened. I've had it sitting out most of the day. All right, now, what you do is you just add this marshmallow cream to it. That's a generic brand. You can use it, or you can use the actual marshmallow brand. Okay, y'all, that is a 13-ounce size of cream puff, jet puff, marshmallow cream, whatever you want to call it. And we just mix that in right there with the 8 ounces of cream cheese. And all you have to do is just beat it until it's mixed together. Now, I have already cut up some apples. And y'all, I used red and green apples. And this is water with about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in it, so that they don't turn so much. Okay, y'all. Now, I want you to look at these platters because one of my taste testers gave these to me. He's my official taste tester at work. And so every Tuesday when I go in, he gets a sample of what I make on Monday. And so, thank you, Nate. I love my platters. I've got your game ready here, y'all. We've got something salty. We've got something sweet. You know, when our young people used to have get-togethers, the boys brought salty and the girls brought sweet. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a good rule of thumb if you're trying to figure out how much to have of what. Now, both of these recipes can be made for your own personal taste. You can add stuff to this. You could add nuts, you could add cinnamon, you could add pumpkin spice that everybody's so crazy about now. And then this hamburger one, you can double, triple, just whatever. Just follow the same ingredients, you know, and just do accordingly. And so you can make a little bit or you can make a lot. Okay, y'all, most of our children, grandchildren, and their money, and no, their parents' money, I'm sorry, let's rephrase that, went to Clemson. So it's just right down the road, y'all. So go Tigers. And this time of year, everybody just enjoy this weather. Put pumpkin spice on everything or whatever you want to do. You know, it's just a wonderful time of year to be with your family and to enjoy each other. Just have a good time. And everybody, shine for Jesus.